Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right over there is, of course, John, our resident millennial. John, how are you doing this evening?
Pretty damn well, actually. Pretty damn well.
All right, so that puts you about here on your
I think
spectrum.
just under fan fucking tastic, actually.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
All right. I see we've got Saint in the house. Good evening, Saint. Thank you for letting us know that we're bitches.
Yes, the
It's good to
customary
know these
greeting
things.
of his people. I enjoy that. I
Because
enjoy the cultural diversity that we have in the chat. Different,
one day,
different
whether we're
people greet.
bitches or cunts or
Usually we're bitches with Saint. It's midget who calls us cunts. So,
well, no,
or
that's what I'm
wankers.
saying. You've got different
Yeah.
cultures, different. Welcome to the new generation, America's new serial killers.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
have we got? Welcome to the new generation, America's new serial. Who are the new serial killers? I'm curious,
Yeah,
because
I'm
I
scared.
probably come up with a list.
I fear for my safety now.
I mean, I could be considered a serial killer because I will destroy a
Bruh.
box of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Ah, see, that's boring.
No,
I
it's
was a
that.
Lucky Charms kid, but I rarely got to actually eat it. So like, yeah, I do like Raisin Bran though. I think I've mentioned that on the show
Ra-
before. I'm a
Actually,
fan.
actually,
I'm a
I would have
fan.
to tell you that I was the same way, but you need to step up to Raisin Bran Crunch. It adds a whole different level
Oh,
that
yeah, I've
that
had that. Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes Raisin Bran kind of
So much better.
yeah, it takes it to
Yeah,
that next
yeah.
level. Oh, he says we're America's new serial killers.
Um, I mean, Robert's not exactly new. Don't know if you've realized. Um,
But I
it's quite
cue,
advanced.
I cue.
Aha. Oh shit!
Elephant
Elephant
Man in the
Man
house.
wins the like button contest tonight.
Yay!
Good job, Elephant Man. In fact, you get a return thumbs up for being the first.
Two of them.
All right.
And but Saint, don't let that dissuade you from coming in a close
Yes.
second at all. You feel free to hit that like button,
Absolutely.
because when it's all said and done, it's not about who wins. It's about everyone being able to participate. And
Right. You get
everybody
your
had fun.
participation trophy.
Right.
Yeah.
Trophy? Did you just say
Trophy.
trophy? I like that.
I did. I said trophy.
That's, well,
Totally by
here,
accident,
let me add
obviously.
that to John's dictionary. I've got one going. Yeah, we'll add
Oh,
trophy.
cool. I would actually like that if
I don't
someone did
really
that.
have that. That would be funny
Yeah. I'd be flattered because it means that someone cares enough about what I say to
though.
keep track of it.
Elephant Man just left ads. I just left ads too. I was in there for a bit.
Yeah. I was up in there for a minute.
He had Jessica Green on there talking to her.
Yeah.
I was really glad to get to meet Ed and
Yeah.
when he came down, really glad to meet Steven. It was good for me because it gave me some good affirmation. I was like, these guys must be awesome. You hear them talk and everything. And then I meet them and they're just real
Fucking people.
fugly
Yeah.
motherfuckers. Fugly
Oh, I
motherfuckers. I
know,
just have
dude.
to
It's
say
both of
so.
them.
I
The
was like,
both of them.
okay, I got this. I got
I
this.
mean, imagine how I felt. I had to spend 3 nights in an Airbnb with them.
Yeah, but John,
I mean,
your fugly
eh,
blends
but
with their fugly.
but I don't think that I don't know because every time I looked at one of them, either of them, I would just be like, ooh, trying not to vomit. But you know, I tried to keep it down. There's a lot of alcohol. It helped.
See this face? This face.
No, it's hidden
This
behind a
face.
microphone.
This face got a lot of ass once upon a time.
That's why it looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Very pointed forward.
Right.
It's just kind of been
Oh man.
shaped as I've gone along. Get in there. I see Namvet in D Live. I
Oh
think that's a new name,
snap.
isn't it?
That is a new name. What's up? How's it going? Welcome.
Now I'd be
Welcome
curious to
Namvet.
find
Oh,
out.
I've seen Namvet
Is
before. Yeah, Namvet.
I wonder if
Namvet. Namvet.
Nam it would be Nam if that's if now I'm curious, is he actually a Nam vet? That would be.
That would be cool to know. For sure.
I don't. I have to tell you this, and I don't. I don't know. I can't call it a. I guess if you want to call it a conversational fetish, I love talking to Vietnam vets.
Hmm.
Now is that?
Yeah.
I mean, like you could talk to vets from the Iraqi War,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
World War II vets. They're so much older now that it's really it's challenging to have a conversation with them. But like I guess like the Iraq Wars, Desert Storm, and all those things that went on over there. To be honest, it really just becomes like a PTSD talk. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It kind of comes down to that. But I don't know. There's something about what those guys were going through and what they were doing and what they were having to deal with that is really a resonating thing. It's. I think a lot of it might be the fact that it was a police action, et cetera, et cetera. We shouldn't have been over there. I understand why
right.
people were protesting our involvement in that war. And it's
Yeah,
like, and to hear them talk about the things that went on, and not just the bad things, but it's just what it was like over there, and dealing with that in
yeah,
something that you shouldn't have even had to be involved in. Much the same as I would enjoy talking to somebody who had been in prison for a while but got out because justice was finally served in the proper way and they got out. Those conversations where you know I mean, you talk about really getting to know somebody and what kind of person they are. Those stories really evoke that. And you get that from most anybody in the military that's
yeah,
seen wartime. But there's just something about the Vietnam War that really strikes a chord with me. But I guess that's because I kind of grew up with the end of it, as it were.
yeah.
I was, born in '68, so whenever I was getting old enough to understand things a little
Yeah, you
bit,
were just 1 year away.
yeah, there was wartime going on over there in Vietnam, so it's kind
Yeah,
of a thing with me.
you're almost born in '69.
Yep.
Damn.
Elvis says Robert's face is Snoop when he votes for Trump. What does Snoop mean?
I'm not sure. Not sure what he's
Saint
referring
says
to
he's
there.
wearing wife beaters takes away from looks. Robert,
That's what he's
wearing wife
saying. Yeah,
beaters takes.
you are wearing wife
Actually, those
beaters.
aren't wife beaters; those are tank tops. I
Oh my
don't. I
god.
don't. I own one that could be considered a wife beater, but it's still just a tank top. It's not an actual undershirt. See, there's the difference. A wife beater is an undershirt.
Imagine making that distinction as like a
Hey, and
heterosexual man,
and just
mostly
FYI,
heterosexual
though
man.
you may not be able to see it, I've got the shoulders to pull off a tank top and a wife beater. I've got that A cut
Yeah.
to my shoulders, so it sets it off right. So it's not like
No,
there's
I
not
mean
a
that's
there's
fair.
there's not a six pack hanging down there to give it the traditional wife beater look. I shared the first of the ninth song in Discord, Napalm Sticks to Kids. Have you ever seen now, of course, the name just flew right out of my fucking head.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking
Marlon
about though.
Brando, Charlie
Yeah.
Sheen,
The one
Martin
where it's like, I
Sheen.
love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yes.
What you're
Oh
talking
my.
about? Yeah.
Yes. It's aw,
I did see that movie a very long time ago. Like I
great
was a kid
movie.
when my dad made me watch it. So it's been a very long time.
That I wish there was a way we could find a way to do something like that. Some of the old war movies, when you talk about like Bridge over the River Kwai and the
Hmm.
Sands of Iwo Jima and things like this that were telling stories from World War I, World War II, Vietnam. Like I guess most of the war movies on Vietnam though weren't really that great, simply because you're starting to get it. A lot of them took that Chuck Norris, Rambo direction with the
Oh,
movies and stuff.
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now, there it is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Saint.
you,
Thank
Saint.
you. I could not get it off my tongue.
I know, and like the fact that you forgot made me forget, and it's just not to mention that yeah.
Very good
Some pre-show
reminder
activities.
by Elephant Man. If you don't know if you're voting for Biden or Trump, you ain't black.
I mean,
The reminder is important. The reminder is important.
I guess so.
Um,
Yeah.
A Bridge Too Far, good movie, good movie.
Yeah.
But I would love to sit and do like a movie, if we could do a movie night on some of those. But I know that most of them are still probably under protected status, this, that, and the other. But I
Depends
love
on where
watching
we
some of
do it.
those.
Depends on what site we use. We might be able to still do some stuff like that. Which, speaking of, everyone who's out there now and whoever might show up later, what would you guys think if we did a movie night once a week or maybe once a month, depending on availability?
Yeah, especially if we can
Would you guys? Is that
find
something you guys would be interested in doing? What sitting around watching a movie with us, talking shit. Not taking it seriously, right? We're not like in a
like
movie
doing a
theater where we're gonna
direct
sit quietly.
doing a director's cut, as it were.
Right, or we can do MST3K style and just
Yeah.
like make fun of it. I
So
always like
that
doing
would,
that.
yeah, that would be a way to go too. And that's usually the best way you can find movies that are public domain.
Yeah,
Is find movies that are so campy that nobody cares.
right.
Ooh, Saint pulls up another good one. Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
Saint
Saint
said
said
he
he
would
would tune
tune in.
in.
Yeah.
Would you want to participate? I mean, you don't have to be on camera or anything,
No,
but
no, the voice is all that's
yeah.
necessary, and that we
And
wouldn't
it
even
wouldn't
be on
be
there.
it wouldn't be live streamed or recorded or anything. It would just be us hanging out watching the movie.
Oh wait, we're not going to do it on the on the show.
No, I
I thought
mean
that's what
we
we
can
had
talk
talked
about it.
about doing, like the MST3K kind of thing with the show platform, if we could
I'm
find the
all right. Yeah,
movies.
yeah. Fair enough.
I
I'm
just
down then.
remember we had that conversation at one point,
Yeah.
but I think that we
Well,
kind of talked ourselves out of it because of the copyright issue.
right. Well, yeah, but I mean, if we can find a shitty movie like Tammy and the T Rex, I introduced Ed and Steven to it while they were down here. Just showed them the trailer. It's oh, it's so fucking terrible that it's
Mm.
great. Yeah. So that one I know is domain like or whatever
Oh, Saint said he would
public
join in.
domain. Badass. Can't
Uh,
vote on this one. Work schedule is too inconsistent. Well, I mean, if it works out, then you're welcome.
I have
Nothing, man.
one piece of advice for you, Elephant Man, in that regard. The smartest thing to do at the present time is quit your job, join a local protest, and demand
Get some of that
more
Soros money,
government,
dude.
get more federal spending on social programs.
Right,
Sign up for welfare. Those rates will be going up. They're up
right.
pretty high right now.
And
So,
then
you
you
know,
can give
just.
us all of your welfare money.
Mhm.
So just an idea to mull over your head, maybe.
And you can take the EBT, the SNAP card, the food card that they give you, and if you go
Yeah.
out to the front of the grocery store, you can convince people to let you pay for their groceries and give you the cash.
Elephant Man just put up an F in the chat there.
I think that
I hope that doesn't mean that. Okay, no, we're good. You can't scare us like that.
that might have been. Is he telling us to fuck off?
No.
No, I know. No, but that's the best way to approach things at this point in time when it comes to your job. It's just it's easier to live off the government money and throw a fit to get more. My dog took the biggest shit in the kitchen. The
I'll
biggest
see Silly
shit,
Blue.
because I'm just saying I've seen some pretty big dog shits. Now, well, the biggest dog shit. That's what we have to determine. The biggest dog shit or the biggest shit in general.
Oh yeah,
Because dogs up against cows, I mean, it's really not a
yeah.
fair fight.
He said he,
Elvis,
he can
sorry,
only get food.
I can only get food. Oh no, rent your house out.
Right.
Rent your house out and stay at a homeless shelter for 3 nights, and then once the money starts kicking in, you can go get yourself a very cheap apartment. Look for something that says what's the Section 8, something along those lines, and
Right.
you know, and plus you'll be renting out your apartment, so you'll be a landlord, so you can reach out to the federal government for money to offset the
Yeah,
rent
dude.
that you're not collecting at this time.
Right. And then you can give all that money to us. And
Saints
then we will
like
continue to do movie nights. We'll do movie nights.
Saints
Uh
like, looting, shooting, collecting government checks.
right, exactly. Exactly. See, he's got
So,
it.
Sully Blue said he poops like me. Obviously, he doesn't, or he wouldn't have done it in the kitchen floor.
Right.
You're,
Unless
I mean, is there something we need to know, Sully? I mean, this sounds like more work than work, right? You would think that
yeah.
would be more work than work, but apparently it's working out for some folks. It's the what do they call it? The barrier to entry. That's just, you've got to get past those little hurdles. But
Yeah.
once the money starts coming, it doesn't stop. It's just there. Oh, he says he caught me doing it was one time.
That's
Yeah,
all it
okay,
takes, man. One time and all of a sudden they think they can do it too.
right. What do you expect? Look at the way he was dressed.
Right?
Uh, But yeah, so yeah, we could do a movie night. That would be good. I wish we could
Yeah,
find. I do wish we could find a way to like host movie nights on platform. That I do think that might be fun if we could get the right audience, the right crowd, watching it with us, that kind of stuff. Um, oh, Elephant Man says he's got new respect for welfare moms because of all the work they have to go through.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and for them, then you got to remember that like every 2 years you've got to be
You
pregnant
do
for
it
nine
again.
months, right? You
Oh,
got to
that too. Yeah.
that, but that's not work. That's called getting a promotion. You're getting a raise,
You get a raise. Oh my
right?
god, that's funny.
Yeah,
You're getting a raise. Newfound hatred for welfare moms. Oh wow. All right, you guys. We're gonna have to have you guys fight to the death over who's right.
right.
Do we have a new respect for welfare moms, or we do have a newfound hatred for welfare moms?
Elephant Man
So,
laughed at what Saint said. So it looks like we might have a concession that
ooh,
Saint might be on the right track.
probably doesn't want to fight to the death, coward.
Yeah, I have to say that thinking about that very specific issue about welfare social programs, it is the burr that is burrowing under my saddle right now. And God, I hate you for it too, because I know that this kind of brings out that libertarian aspect. But I'm like, you know what? You've had your social programs for a long fucking time.
Right.
And if they're not helping, and I was just talking to my stepdaughter who was here today, and she was asking me about it, and I said, the bottom line is sure, you've got a bunch of people saying, hey, you need to increase the money that's coming into our communities and this, that, and the other, and these social programs. But I told her, I said, inflation's not stopping. So where we're at a point right now where those social programs aren't enough money for them to get by anymore, well, adding some more in a few more years, we're going to go through this cycle again because it's not going to be enough money.
Yeah, exactly. You're always throwing good money after bad. Like, when was the last
Damn it.
time where they were like, okay, I think we're doing good now. We can start cutting funding to welfare because
Right,
we just don't need it as much.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's always been more and more and more
I
set
do.
up to ruin families. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I have to.
It's set up to make families obsolete.
I mean, it
Is what
begs
it
the
is.
question: how much money do we have to stack underneath you to get you out of these impoverished areas?
Right.
How high do you need to be lifted up so you can see the opportunities that have been available to you?
Yeah. Well, that's always the argument, right? Is that it breeds complacency. It's easier just to collect your EBT every month and your whatever else whatever other things you have than it is to have to get up every day and go to work every day. You know what I mean? When meanwhile you have all this free time and you get free money.
How you doing tonight, Henry?
It's
Henry was first.
Hey, he was first as
He was
usual.
first for the third place. Uh, Elfman said we should be going back to clans. Actually, they're trying to declare them as a terrorist
I'm
group right
down.
now. Oh, he said clan with a C. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Saint says
I'm down. I'm down for clans because Irish nobility and all that. I
Saint
would
says
already have a good place in that kind of society.
Saint says I hate welfare. My brother actually needed it and he didn't qualify yet. Qualify yet. Saw people selling their food stamps in the Walmart
Yeah.
parking lot. Yeah, and it's interesting how they qualify that. This is what bothers me because like even if you look at something like child support, right?
Hmm.
The bureaucracy. But if you look at somebody trying to get help that way, one of my stepdaughters went through this when she first had her baby. But her mistake was living in a household where there was enough income coming in to disqualify her. Her
Right.
income it didn't matter because they assume they're like, "Oh, no, 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 no. You live in a house with people that are making this money. They should be supporting you."
Right.
Whoa, wait. What? What? And that's the same thing. Like if if people here in Florida get late on their child support or have issues with child support, the first question they ask you, well, do you have a spouse and how much money are they bringing in?
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, you shouldn't be having a problem with this.
Yeah.
Wait. It's like, my- but if your kid lives with you, that doesn't mean your kid doesn't just have to live with you like they were still a kid. No,
Right.
sometimes kids rent from you because you're offering them a place to live and they're renting it from you. No, you should give them money if they need it because
Right.
there are
They're
people that actually need it, like
right. They're
Saint's talking
adults now.
about.
They shouldn't be getting an allowance at this point.
Right, right.
Like, yeah.
Especially when they have a child. Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, I see. That's how you work. And
Right.
see, that's one of those things where these barriers that make it impossible for people who actually need it, yet people that could fucking get up and go get a fucking job and don't have to use it have multiple ways to manipulate the system and keep that check rolling in. And a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of it, I'll guarantee you, a lot of it is lying and being full of shit for some of these folks.
Like what Elephant Man says, no more welfare if you're a dick and your family can't stand you, you're gonna starve.
Yeah.
Damn.
Alpha, he says
Oh,
that's the
if
way
you okay,
families
wait, there's
should
a
work.
comma there. Yeah. Uh I think it's supposed to be no more welfare, comma, if you are a dick and your family can't stand you, you're gonna starve. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Gotcha.
Not
Well,
like no more welfare if you're a dick, because I'd be like, well, how do you qualify?
well,
Like, until the government calls you, like, yeah, sorry, you didn't qualify. You're kind of a dick. Like,
look,
that's where my mind went at least at
I
first.
mean,
But you're a dick, no welfare for you.
ultimately though, welfare was a very well-intentioned and
Of course,
feasible thing. Before, and now everyone
bureaucracy.
has a bad taste in their mouth about it because so many people have abused the system and
Yeah,
the abuse has been allowed to happen and it's just gotten, for want of a better term, corrupted all the way through. And that does leave those people that the program is intended for and is very beneficial for. Because I mean, I had to tap into it at one point for, I would say, about 7 or 8 months. I had to tap into it, and it was the most helpful thing because really all it was for me was a food source. It was
yeah.
like I don't have to worry about buying groceries right now.
Hmm.
And that was just the biggest little help that I could get at the time till I got back on my feet and got going.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing, right? And it's fucked up now. It's just so fucked up now to where I hate it, and I'm like, okay, get rid of it because people can't use it right. But then a part of my brain goes, yeah, but think of the people that you punish for that.
Yeah.
Not that government should be picking people up, but having a program used
Right.
properly that is there as a safety net should someone fall on hard times. I don't think that's a horrible thing,
Yeah.
for a government to do. That's
In
acceptable to
theory.
me.
In
Right, in
theory.
theory, right? If
In
if
theory.
it's working properly and perfectly like it's supposed
Which,
to.
of course, as soon as you put government in there, it's
Well,
not
right.
going to.
But I
Right.
mean, even if it's
But I
happening at
mean,
a state level, I mean, how
well,
far do
there's
you
ways to do
micro
it
down?
without. There's
Oh,
ways to do it without government oversight that'll be much more efficient and less wasteful.
by what? Allowing the private sector to do it?
Yeah, charity organizations all the time. They do that kind of stuff all the time.
Well, now
And we've
they're
talked about that before, though, with people incentivizing people to give to charity, which we do a little bit now with, like, yeah, you give someone a fucked up shirt and you can get, you can write that off on your taxes or whatever. But
well, I will say this, in having previously looked at programs like that, charitable programs that would help out,
mhm.
the barrier to entry is oftentimes more challenging than going the welfare route
Yeah, fair enough.
because they want to avoid that
Right,
nasty tunnel of welfare,
right.
you know,
And there's probably someone that you can
sycophants.
contact, to tell them about your particular situation, as opposed to just being another, number that they kind of check some boxes off and determine, how much to give you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Henry says I'm going to apply for welfare to buy beer. Unfortunately, you can't unless you sell off the
Yeah.
card. I mean, that's one of the things that I think is awesome, about how it's set up. from the food standpoint, not the way
Yeah.
people abuse it, but it's like, here, you can buy these things, and you
You
get up
buy
to the
food.
register and everything goes through, and then they're like, we're going to need an extra $8 for these items that don't qualify. And it's like, oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I get it, and it's a learning curve, but I mean, it's good food, it's not like you're forced to buy crap, you
Right.
know, but
You know what's funny is there was a gas station back when I was on EBT. This was like 2013, so I was much more lefty and broke and stuff. But I mean, I only spent 6 months on it, and in that time, I got a job and was able to start supporting myself. So
right,
um, I did what it was intended for it to do.
right.
But there was actually a gas station that would take EBT for everything. So you could buy beer and
Oh
cigarettes,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but they
yeah.
would mark it down as something else that was
Right,
EBT eligible.
right,
Yeah, and only reason that he did that was because I knew him,
right,
well enough to where he knew I was gonna like snitch on him or that I wasn't,
right.
someone trying to entrap them on it or something. But
Great. So you were abusing the system. Good to know.
yeah, yeah,
Good to know.
I was a dumb kid, man. What are you gonna do?
Saint says my brother worked two shit jobs to make ends meet, never had any money for food, and
Yeah,
see, in that, and there's a larger picture there. I'll talk about it in a moment. So it says, I think the concept is good, of course, but mishandled and abused. Saint says
yeah,
before the
that's true,
new,
Saint. We did talk about that
yeah,
during the drunk stream. That was the other person. It was Saint. I think that I outdrank. I know, like I outdrank like three people. Me and Sully were talking about this at the bar the other day. That I was like, during that 8 hour stream, like I outdrank three people. Midget was one of them. Boulder Vaughn was the other, and then I think it was Saint that was second. So
Saint says before the New Deal, we had a more robust social safety net through charity, and over time, it's gotten smaller, and that's because yeah, the people that will abuse the welfare system are the same people that will abuse the social charity net. But I think there's other things that factor in there too.
yeah,
Element says because people are corrupt, we can't have nice things. Yeah, but
yeah,
what Saint said about his brother working and not having enough money for food. I mean, this goes to what I'm talking about. Um, One thing that I think that people overlook is this I is the main issue is
still counts, Saint.
people don't. I
He
can't
still
drink
doesn't
while I'm on
count.
the. Oh,
Still counts. No, I swear there was a third person that was drinking too, but I guess maybe it was just Saint not drinking. I don't know,
maybe you were
but
just drunk.
I was proud. I was absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
100%, without a doubt.
But a lot of people can't make a livable wage with one and sometimes even two jobs. But the cost of goods is never going to go down. Like your prices are going to keep going up. Period. And
Yeah,
nothing else keeps up with that. So whether it be welfare, whether it be wages, none of it is keeping up with the steep incline of inflation, and that's why we're seeing tons of people hollering, "Oh, we need to increase these social programs because the money you're giving us is not enough." They can't afford to buy the things they were buying. They can't afford to lease that Lexus right now.
yeah,
They need more money coming in. Um, but I was thinking about it tonight. I'm like, this is just going to happen again. But there's no way to control the cost of goods without the government stepping in.
yeah.
I don't know, unless you can think of something, John. I mean, I know you talk about the free market, but I don't think you can get the free market to adjust the gap that's there.
Well, I mean, obviously, the people who would come up with those solutions are smarter than I am. Uh, that's the point of it, right? Is that the point of the free market, at least, is that someone will think of something that will innovate. Some innovation that will accomplish pretty much any task that you want. Pretty much any task. So, I mean, yeah, as most things, economic free market is the answer.
What about food replicators? Why aren't we doing that yet? I mean, they
Yeah,
did
you
it.
really
They
think
did
we
it.
should have?
Right, you would
You
think
really
that
think
that
that we
would be a
would?
focus, right?
Right.
Find,
I mean, bruh, it's
find a
been
way
since
to
the '60s. Like, come on.
one tablespoon is one tablespoon of dirt in a little cup in your food replicator. You punch a button and boom, you got a steak and potato dinner,
Fuck yeah, dude.
right? I mean, it would take a long time to go through all the dirt.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
saying.
I'm down for food replicators. Get on it, Robert.
No, I don't know shit about that.
Um, Elephant Man wants to know if I was seeing double on the drinking stream. No, I wasn't. Scotch is a very lucid and clear drunk. I
Whatever.
don't have that problem with
Yeah.
that with Scotch. I don't have that problem.
Yeah, but that's counting on the fact that you're probably going by your definition of lucid. Uh,
I mean, I don't know. Have you watched that stream? Because I was doing pretty damn well.
no, but I've seen you drunk.
Right, but
I
I'm
know
just
lucid
saying
when I
that
see
stream.
it, and I know you drunk.
Yeah.
uh, Sully says I worked at a club store and used to see families have two full carts of seafood, fillets, steaks, all sorts of things, and you had to help them load their car. Which more than not, more than not, they had very nice cars. Yeah,
Uh,
and but that's the thing, you group up, like they'll group their cards together and they'll take multiple family EBT cards in and buy shit like that.
yeah.
Live high on the hog on the food. But just saying, you also have to remember they're offsetting their income with their other job, crime.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
But everybody's like, oh, whatever, big pimping is it? You know what that means. Elfman says inflation is caused by government printing money. True.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
I could agree with a lot of that, but I think inflation is also caused by the government fucking spending money poorly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
look at it this
But
way. If
the reason that they're printing so much money is because they're, you know, pay, spending it so poorly is what I was trying to say.
right.
Blech. Yeah. I'm not
Well,
even drinking tonight and I can't fucking talk.
I would put it out. I would put it out there like this. Imagine the amount of money that's spent on welfare. I don't know the number, but I know it's in the billions that we spend on welfare every year, right?
Yeah.
So food manufacturers, for instance, they're like, look, here's billions of dollars being given to people to do what? Buy food.
Yeah.
Captive audience, let's raise the price on food because everybody needs it anyway. And these people will buy it because they've got billions of free dollars. Why the fuck
I don't
wouldn't I
know if
raise
that's how
my
that
price?
really works.
Why wouldn't you raise your prices knowing that? Knowing if you knew that there was $60 billion out there worth of welfare money, for example, why wouldn't you not raise your prices on food just a little bit? Here, 10 cents here, 15 cents here,
Right.
and capitalize on that $60 billion that is going to be spent on food. Even if you just get a 10, 15% market share off of that $60 billion, that's good for the bottom line. And all it takes is a little increase in prices here and
Right.
there, here
I
and
mean,
there, here and
maybe
there.
maybe that happens. I don't know. I'm not in that business.
There are people
Couldn't
that
say.
sit in these companies that get paid to think exactly like this.
Right. Sure.
Um, Saint says the government already fixed prices. What more would they do? I don't. Well, they fix prices on some things. I mean, they're not controlling how much I pay for my cornflakes, are they? Or are they? I don't know. I don't know how much influence
Um.
they have over the cost of goods.
Not completely. Not like that.
I see Wyatt in the house.
Oh, Wyatt, what's up,
Wyatt.
bro?
Elfman says crime only exists because of laws. Well, duh.
Yeah, that's true. I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah,
in a
obviously.
sense,
That's
right.
yeah.
Something's only a crime if there's a law against it. However,
Well,
we kind of need laws.
hang on, because Sully called me a no shot taking ass, which is true. I don't take shots. I just wanted to address that real quick. I don't do
He'll take a shot to the chin.
that. Not willingly.
Yeah,
Right,
that's why he grew the beard so long to make sure he catches it all.
got some cushion right there.
Um, but I have to say, Elephant Man, I understand what you're saying about crimes only exist because of laws. But I mean, the bottom line is, if you look at something, we'll just take something random, murder. You kill somebody, if there's no law, then there can't be justice unless it's just dealt out by somebody with a pistol on the street. And I don't know that that's the kind of order we want. 'Cause, I mean,
Yeah,
that just leads to crazy town in a lot of cases. If but that's just me. That's might be my boomer mentality.
yeah.
Um, and Wyatt wants to know when your junk stream is coming, John.
I think he means drunk stream.
I thought maybe you had been planning on doing a junk stream.
Well,
I
all
don't
my
know if.
streams are junk streams, so that doesn't really narrow it down. Um, drunk. If you mean drunk stream, let me know because then I will tell you uh, when that's coming again. Let's see. Uh, Whoa, Sully. All right, Sully says, "Well, it's like government contracts for military supplies. They put higher prices because it'll be paid for a few bucks more." Yeah,
But there's a scam in that too, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Because you can go, like, if you pay a little bit more money across all these government
Ooh,
contract military contracts, you can look at your constituents and say, we spent this many billions of dollars on the military. They just don't say, but we only accomplished this much. you know
right. Yeah, that's true.
Subsidies for corn farms, yes, I
Yeah,
under
they do. They
I
do that.
they do subsidies there, but
And dude, the fucking farmers are scummy in some ways that
but
they'll flood a quarter of their crops so that they'll get the sweet federal government, relief fund.
Right,
Um,
but that doesn't have the positive effect you want it to. It doesn't bring the cost down,
right. No, I'm not
right?
saying it would. I'm just saying
Right.
that the farmers are scummy in that way that they'll take advantage of, government assistance programs for them. So they'll just get that extra money by, flooding a bunch of their crops.
Elephant man. Oh, he also can't take shots in pool. Just saying.
It's not true.
Sully.
It's not true. I'm still one
No,
up.
I've played pool against him, Sully. It's true.
That's not true. You know it.
We've played
You know
pool.
that's not. Yeah, no. I'm saying that I can obviously shoot. I'm pretty damn good at pool. I'm not pretty damn good at pool. I'm all
Okay,
right. I'm all right.
John. Just because you can hit the ball with the stick doesn't mean you can shoot
That's the whole
pool.
game.
Ah, you silly
You're
kid.
supposed to make the white one fly off the table and hit the mirror, right?
Hmm.
That's what I heard you're supposed to
Elephant Man says
do.
we need two laws: don't hurt anyone and don't touch my shit. Now,
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna put this out there. You can say that, but understand we have grown into a society of specificity. So when you say don't touch my shit, now you have to look at things like abortion. Okay, we have to make laws about abortion because do you want a woman to abort that baby because technically that's your shit, right? So now we want to fine tune. We got to we got to
Well,
make sure to get
yeah.
more specific for people so that
Well, the argument is obviously when that baby becomes a life.
but
That's the whole
she
thing.
gets to make the argument, no, it's in my body, it's my shit.
I mean, listen,
Oh, and
we
I
can go
fucked
down
your
this road,
friend, so
but
you don't really know one way or the other.
well, now you're just
Right?
adding all kinds of extra shit into it
Right.
that
I'm
doesn't need to
just
be
trying
there.
to convolute the thing so we
You are
understand
just being
that
difficult.
the sheeple needs specificity.
Yeah. Oh my god. What about that one time that one thing happened? Like the only time it's ever happened. Are you gonna, Oh my god.
No, it's but
It
no,
just.
it's
No,
it
no. I'm saying like people. People will
right.
do that. They'll try and find the
Sure.
most outlying
Right.
case in order to be like, what about
Right.
that time?
Right.
Like, okay, that's not even close to the vast majority of cases. Let's reach a consensus on one first, and then we can talk about minutia. But no, it has to go
Uh,
right to that.
yeah, and it's I love seeing, like, these riots, the protests and everything have been an excellent example where, like, you can look and you can see 20 different incidents of police brutality going on in the riots and protests.
Mhm.
And for anyone to go, this is an excellent example of why we need to get rid of the police.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so 20 people out of the tens of thousands,
Yeah.
but that's why they're all a problem. Are those
Well,
20
see,
guys? You what?
this is a psychological thing, where obviously you react more viscerally to what you see rather than what you don't see. So everyone's gonna see the police brutality. You're never gonna see a cop doing their job properly. It's not noticeable because you're not looking for that. You know what I mean? Like the ones who are actually
Right,
doing a good job, you're not going to see that because they're doing a good job. The only time you're
right.
made aware of them is if they don't do a good job. you
Right,
know?
because I would love to see that person that sits there and presents video after video of the cops that are on the protester side, like the
Yeah.
actual protester side, and see video after that and say, this is why we need cops.
Right.
This is what real cops do. What their job is, to support the community.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people, fucking people. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, it comes down to that specificity. It always will. Just like we have to have specificity with all the civil rights and equality, we have to determine everybody who's equal. We can't just say everybody's equal. We have to point out each group and say, no, now here's how. Here, you're equal now.
You're
Oh,
equal in
here,
this way, and you
you're
over here,
equal
you're
over
equal in this
here.
other
Right,
way. Yeah,
right.
it's so
Yeah.
stupid.
And
Yeah.
because you're equal now, we'll give you preferential treatment,
Right.
which makes
So that you'll
you
be even more
makes
equal.
makes other people unequal and will make
No,
them
no, no. He
angry
just
at
makes you
you.
more equal, is all.
More equal.
Right. You are just more equal than others. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, Orwell style.
But those people that are less equal than you, they won't ever get pissed off about it.
No, no, no. They're not less equal. The other people are just more equal.
Got you. But it won't piss.
Yeah.
If you're not more equal, you won't be pissed about it, right? No. Uh, the government, Saint says the government also requires produce to be sold at a certain price in order to qualify for subsidies. I can imagine that that's true.
Oh, dude, you
I
didn't
can.
say hi to Michael Vega. Hi, Michael
We haven't.
Vega.
Oh, there he is. I'm here,
Yeah,
cunts. Oh,
and then
sorry, missed him.
yeah, Wyatt
I was
asking,
working my
yeah,
way
sure,
up
drunk
and
stream.
down. I was kind of.
You weren't past it. If you guys want, I'll do a drunk stream tomorrow. Let me know if that's something you wanted me to do, and I'll
What?
do it.
I need an excuse to get drunk?
That's
Okay.
right. You get drunk in public, not really in public, but on the internet.
I would do a drunk stream, but it'll be like 10 minutes long.
Right, you'll drink like half a beer, and you'll just be like, "Oh my god!" Blah. Yeah.
Sully says perception is reality doesn't mean it's a real reality. Seawall has rolled in his half track. Um,
Yes.
Saint says, I just want honesty from the abortion crowd to admit that even if they don't consider it a life from conception, they're ending a potential life. Well, sure.
Right.
And I can agree with that. But I mean, if you want, there are people out there that can go ahead and make the argument. So does putting a condom on. So does jerking
Yeah.
off. Stop jerking
Yeah.
off, because every time you do, you kill hundreds of babies, potential babies, right?
Well, I mean, I think the difference obviously is that there's no fertilized egg when it
I
comes to
I
that.
I get you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get you, but
Saying like
I'm just
that's
saying,
yeah.
you're warriors, you're true warriors. Let me air quote that. That's they'll go in these directions, and there's always an argument on both sides. There's always some way to minutia the argument, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
It's like, can we just nail down the principle first? Come to a consensus on, you know, like our values, and then we can talk about the little outliers. The different cases of. Just never mind.
Yeah, but
Continue.
I love that idea of values and standards, but
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't
we
it?
don't that's not an option anymore.
It's not,
Find a
unfortunately. Yeah.
cohesive set of values and standards that would suit the present day population. Just name
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. God damn it. And then Sully says it's like customer surveys. It's usually the bad ones put in, not the good. Yeah, exactly. Because people don't do a customer survey usually when they have a good experience. They're just like, "Sweet, I'm done. That was
Right?
nice." But that's a really good analogy. Yeah,
Yeah,
really
it's
good analogy.
absolutely true.
Yep.
Sewell says there is a saying
Much the
in
same.
it 99.8% of the
IT.
time you are not noticed. Or IT. I was thinking the
I
movie.
did that. I did that last stream. Remember? Yeah, I did that. You guys
You're
gotta
not
stop with that
noticed.
shit.
0.2% of the time you were yelled at because something went wrong. Yes.
Yep.
And but you know what? That's kind of this weird paradox that we're in right now. Is paradox the right word? Because we're talking about a younger generation right now that thinks they should be recognized for the 99.8% of the time and never called out for the 0.2%. Like
Yeah.
they're like, I need recognition because they've grown up in schools getting certificates for making it through this grade and the next grade and the next grade and the
You
next
know what the
grade.
worst one is, and this is one that I've actually gotten before, is most improved.
Most improved.
Yeah,
You were
I've gotten that
right
award too.
because
Yeah,
you know
makes you
there's
feel like
that
shit.
right there's
It's
that
like, yeah, you
underlying.
were shit, but now you're less shit. You're still shit because you didn't get any other awards, but you're just a little bit less of shit than you were previously. And it's like, yeah, great. That's I'd rather have just got nothing. Appreciate it. Like, yeah.
Wyatt says he's planning to resume his novel live stream Thursday for sure.
Sweet. Have you done
Uh,
any work on it at all, or I don't know. Oh, I guess I'll find out Thursday.
Seawall wants you to co-stream with Ed while he games.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I'm not sure how that would work, but
I
I would have to get into contact with him and
I game
see
too,
what's up.
I
Yeah, but you
play.
don't game on stream because I
You
game
don't
too, but
either.
not on stream. I didn't say I did.
So don't fucking make that a barrier to entry,
I'm
fucktard.
not saying it is. I'm not
I mean,
saying it
that's what it
is.
comes. That's how it came out. I mean, it's like,
That's how
well,
you
you don't
inferred
game
it.
on stream. Well, no, but neither do you. I mean, it's
But
Jesus
Ed does.
Christ.
That was the point. Yeah. Oh
I
my god.
I've actually played one of the games he live streamed to like kind of get a feel for where his mind was at on the game. I mean,
Lame.
I'm qualified. God damn it, Seawall. Sully says, I mean, your body also reproduces semen every few days.
I like
Yeah,
how we spelled it like the aircraft company instead of like the sperm.
Simeon.
Yeah, that's still pronounced semen, but that's how it's spelled.
Siemens is Seimenen
Is
or
it?
Man. Yeah, Siemens. Yeah, because I used to live in Lake Marion or work near in Lake Marion near this
I gotcha.
Siemens place. It's SEI.
It's oh, is it? Okay, well I just remembered wrong then.
Yeah.
Sorry, silly. You still spelled semen wrong
Elephant Man says
though.
abortion should not be federally regulated. It should always be between the mother, father, and the DR. And I absolutely agree. It should not be legislated at all at the federal level. If you
Right.
want to take it down to a local level, I'm kind of okay with that because you can choose where you live. But yeah, I agree. The federal government needs to be hands fucking off on that because it just, oh God, they gripe me out when they talk about abortion. God damn it. Seawall says Catch 22 would be a better saying. Catch 22. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. It says, "Oh, Rob, you enjoyed that video of the vet saying he would deal with the problem himself." Are you talking about the old guy that was posted in Discord? that,
Probably. That's
that was
probably what he
like,
means.
"No, let me get my goddamn gun and shoot these." I'm like, yeah, boy, that's how you handle that shit.
Yeah.
That's a patriot right there. You commie bastards, let me get my goddamn gun and I'll show you all. You don't want to live here? Get the fuck out.
Love it. Yeah.
It's going to take me 5 seconds to load this motherfucker, so that's your head start.
Fucking awesome.
That's that's
Legend.
that's what that's how you handle people like that. That's the patriot
Yeah.
in me is like, no, yes, fuck that.
Fuck yeah.
You don't want to be here. Get the fuck out. Anytime I hear somebody say I hate this country,
Yeah.
get the fuck out. I don't want to hear that you're playing some
Right.
semantic game where it's like, oh, I'm just talking about the people. No. If you hate the government, if you hate what the population has become, that's great. You say that. But you hate this
Right.
fucking country. This is the soil you were fucking born on. This is the soil you came to for freedom. This is where it's at. This is your fucking home. Don't fucking say you hate this country. Fuck you.
Oh man.
It's because you're in this country that you get to say, I hate this fucking country, so shut the fuck
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Uh
stepdaughter, she was funny today because we've been talking about this. She gets, this is being around me is one of the only times she really has these kind of conversations about, current events. But she's like, well, they don't want to go back to Africa. I mean, that would just be stupid
right.
because they've got it so much better here. They don't want to go back, do they? I mean, that just doesn't. And I mean, she's a bright girl, but she's not. She wasn't.
I was gonna say, wait, which one are you talking
The
about?
blonde. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, even she's able to come to the conclusion in her Gen Z mind that, well, they don't sure as fuck don't want to go back to Africa. You
Yeah.
know, or anybody. You don't anybody that wants to leave. You don't want to leave this country unless you damn sure really know where you're going. Because
Yeah.
there are options out there that are, yeah. Say you hate this country. Say you
Yeah.
hate this country in the wrong place in this world.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
How many shoot first, ask questions later countries do we have in this world out of the 190 something countries? Uh, oh, he's blaming autocorrect. That's not even a
Uh-huh.
word for autocorrect to put in.
Yeah.
Unless
How many
unless it
different
was
Siemens are you talking
unless it
about?
was YouTube correcting it so he didn't and wasn't able to put semen in. Now see,
No.
that's smart censorship.
No, it's not.
See, yeah, that way you don't have to like get rid of what people say. You just fuck the word up
Or
so that it's like it's you don't have any
but that no, that's how
liability
you
for it
get
being
past
used.
that's how you get past the censorship. Why
Right.
would you bother? Yeah, so why would you bother censoring if you're just going to change the word?
Because then that way you
That's
could say
dumb.
you respect people's free speech
No, you
because
still
you
don't.
don't delete their comments. You
Listen,
don't
my
deep
misspelled words are still for my free speech, all right?
whatever.
Freedom to
Uh,
misspell words.
he says, "Yep, hand that man a 1911 Seawall.
Fuck yeah,
It's
dude.
always about guns with him. I like it."
Yeah.
Michael Vega says,
It's
"I hate this country and this old man." Yeah, you do not. You do not hate this
you
country.
don't.
You don't
Well,
hate. You
you
may
do hate
hate
this old
me.
man.
You can hate me all you want, and that's fine. I mean, I would have to say take a fucking number, but but you don't hate
Yeah.
this country. I know you. You don't hate this country. I mean, come on,
He likes
come on.
Texas. We know that.
Now, I could honestly, I can live with somebody saying, I hate what this country has become because that does
Yeah, of
entail,
course.
that entails the people, the government, that kind of thing.
Right. The
But,
culture of the country, not the country itself. Yeah.
and these cunt bastards that are out there that'll burn a fucking flag, and I get it, it's not against the law and it shouldn't be against the law, but
It
you're a
shouldn't be.
fucking piece of shit in my mind. I'm just saying.
Well, I've mentioned the only time I would ever do that is if flag burning became illegal. Then yeah, you bet your ass I'm out there burning flags.
Yeah, it's that was a value. Once upon a time that was a value or a
Yeah.
standard. You didn't fuck with the flag.
Right.
But now it's whatever. It's just fabric now. Elephant Man poses the question: why are all Scandinavian women so beautiful? Uh,
Because when you're looking online, that's all you're going to see, unless you type in like ugly Scandinavian woman. That's my guess.
I would give an answer that I believe has something to do with it, but
I mean, unless he's actually been to
it would
Scandinavia, I
it
don't know
would
where he's Elephant Man's from. So
I kind of have an idea of what he's saying because yeah, I mean they all have. eh, All right, I'll say it the best way I can. How's this? More purity of bloodline.
wow, that's racist, and also not for long.
Um,
Not for long.
Seawall says Rob's stepdaughter equals based. She is. She is. She's a little ditzy, but yeah. Elman says the Vikings didn't bring back the ugly ones. Sewell says, I love my country but hate things it has done. Yes, but
Right.
remember, it's not the country that did it. Again, we always have to bear in mind it is the people that represent our country that do these things. And
Right.
that's what it always comes down to. And you know, it's getting rid of those people. That's the problem, that we run into. And again, it's because our population is getting too big. The more we grow, the harder it's going to be. The more authoritarian it's got to be to control it, et cetera, et
Or you can
cetera.
decentralize and
It
it's not as
won't
big of a
fucking
deal.
matter,
It will
John.
fucking matter.
You can't
It will.
decentralize a city that's got, take New York. In a 1 mile
Yes, you
radius,
can.
you've got 11 million people. How do you decentralize that and make it work for everybody? I mean, you're
You
talking
don't.
large
You don't make it
populations.
work for every. You can't possibly make it work for everyone. That is absolutely
But
impossible. Even if
that's
there's like four people, you
what do
can't
you
make it
th-
work for
what do
everybody.
you think we're dealing with right now? We're dealing with a large portion of the population that's screaming, make it right for everybody. We have
Yeah, they're
everything's got to be.
fucking idiots.
I get it.
So
So
no,
there, so
be
there you have it.
realistic. You cannot make everybody happy. You cannot do something. You can't set up a system that works for everybody.
But
That is impossible.
let me ask you a simple math question. You have idiots in your population. What happens when you increase the population?
Well, yeah, you're going to get more idiots statistically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And apparently we've gotten enough idiots that their voice is being heard.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I
So
understand. I'm just saying that yeah, they're fucking
people
idiots. Is
wouldn't
all I'm saying.
people we don't have a population to be able to understand and wrap their head around decentralized government.
I know, I know. It took me a while too. To be fair, so
Spartacus Ryu in the house.
Ryu, I don't know. What's up, man? I assume you're a man, I
But Sewell
suppose.
says, I would not burn the flag or refuse to spit on the sacrifices made for it. Amen. And
See,
that is
see,
what
hang on,
matters.
because like the only,
Yeah.
given the example that I gave, that I would, the only situation that I would do that, obviously at that point, the sacrifices were made in vain, and that flag no longer represents America or its values. That would be my counter argument to that. Obviously, I wouldn't do it in any other context. I just don't feel the need to. But
Well,
in
I
that
would
one instance of the flag burning becoming illegal, then that's it. That's it for it.
I
Values are gone.
have no problem with it being an unspoken law.
You make it socially unacceptable, of course. Yeah, there's nothing
Well,
wrong with that.
it's socially unacceptable now, but you know,
Yeah.
but I would like it to be the kind of thing where it's like if I see some motherfucker burning the flag, I'm like, here, try a little of the burning yourself and see how you like it. Let me burn the.
Generational gap does not advocate for violence against anybody, unless unless in self defense, of course.
I mean, and that's the unspoken law I'm talking about, where there's retribution for your actions in that set, for something like that. Because I mean, yeah, I mean, you
See,
shit.
I can't get behind that. I mean, unless they stole the flag, they stole someone's property, they're not violating any any kind of principle by burning a flag that they purchased with their own money. Um, they can do whatever they want with their own property.
So Elephant Man says when you increase the population, you also get more Einsteins. I'm just going to put it out
Slightly
there.
more, but not more than idiots. The idiots will always
Right. I
outnumber
was
the
just going to
Einsteins.
say, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a ratio there that does not.
The increase in Einsteins will be negligible for
Thanks for
sure.
coming by, Sully. Thanks for being
See you,
here.
Sully.
Glad. Don't forget to hit that like button in case you forgot to. Thank you. Uh, I'm sorry, Saint. Did I say something that surprised you?
Probably how passionately you were like defending the
The
flag.
flag and what I might
Yeah,
do.
right.
Yeah. Don't burn a flag near me. I'm just saying. It's not
See,
a.
Spartacus is saying I'm of the opinion that the context matters. Exactly. The
Yeah,
context
burning the
matters.
flag just to burn the flag or to denounce America is a no-go, and that's it right
Right.
there, because it goes back to what was said earlier about shitting on spitting on the sacrifices or shitting on the sacrifices that people have made in the past. Dude,
Yeah.
you go all the way back to motherfucking George Washington, Betsy Ross. That's where our flag started, and and countless lives for independence were given up for that
Yeah.
flag to fly free and announce the home of the free and the brave. Fuck you and burning the flag for no reason. I get it.
Yeah.
There are times where people are going to be impassioned and motivated from a sense of protest, but
Yeah.
that's not what I've seen in these riots. I've just for the joy and the glee of doing it because I can. Because I can. Get the fuck out.
Right.
Get the fuck out. But who am I? I'm just some guy.
You're just an asshole on the internet like the rest of us. Yeah.
Uh, Saint says that 54th Massachusetts Regiment passed me off more than any. It pissed me
I
off
think
more
it's
than any
pissed me
flag.
off. Yeah.
54th Massachusetts Regiment. John, I'd have to
Uh.
default to you to see if.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is that in the context of the Revolutionary War? Or is that more modern?
Is was this something that was pulled down? Another something that no, because that wouldn't have been involved with the Confederate War, right? Or would it? I
Maybe
mean the Civil War. I
the
mean
civil. I know what you meant. Yeah. Maybe. I'll have to ask him for more context. Civil War.
Civil War. Oh, yeah. That's and see, there you go. That's an excellent example of these knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah,
This is what they're doing. I mean, you've got to do this now. If you're in power, you've got to do things to placate. Because I can imagine the rationale in so many people, in so many officials' minds right now. Maybe if we do this right here, this will put an end to everything. Is this the goalpost that we need to reach?
that's right.
Is this
Saying,
the
hang
step?
on, that's right. The 54th Massachusetts Regiment was an all-black regiment. I did hear about that, and they defaced that monument. So I mean, yeah, it's obvious that they don't care. They just want to, get rid of any kind of notions of the past. It's like it's
Well,
very Pol Pot esque,
yeah,
and that they're just erasing any history that they don't deem
right.
as acceptable.
Because
Yeah.
of course, any black man fighting in the Civil War was probably a slave.
Well, not in the
that's
North, but
well, no, but
there were
you know what I'm saying.
conscripts. There
You
were
know,
conscripts for
sure,
sure.
but the argument is going to be made that they would have all been doing it under duress, not by choice.
Right.
And I'm like, no, no, that's not true. You don't know
Yeah, it's
that.
not true at all. But yeah.
There were actually intelligent, free thinking, smart African Americans at that time that knew what that
Well, see,
war was
unfortunately,
about and
the
why they were
left can't.
fighting it.
Unfortunately, the left can't deal with intelligent black people. They need them to be dumb and helpless, which is why the left is so evil, requiring anyone who's not white to be just dumb and helpless. It's fucking pathetic, condescending as fuck,
Um,
racist as fuck. But I mean,
yeah.
they're not going to see that. But it's absolutely condescending as hell, the things that they say and do to and about people of color in general.
Elephant Man says that this is the appeasement that led to Germany. That this is
Right.
the appeasement that led to
Point.
Germany in World War II.
I was going to make the point about appeasement that yeah, you because you were making the point that sometimes you have to capitulate to um these people. But that's the thing, is that's exactly, yeah, I hate bringing up Germany and World War II and Hitler because
No,
that's
but it's a
Godwin's
perfect.
law. But I know it is, but it's still Godwin's law is cringe. But it is though, because like they kept giving Hitler just a little bit more. Okay, maybe he'll
Right.
stop if we just let him take over this part. If we just let him take over here, maybe
Sure.
he'll stop. But that's not how that works. If you give, it's that whole if you give an inch, they'll take a mile thing.
Sure. And it's an excellent comparison to the present day where it's like, okay, which side is going to win the race to tyranny, to dictatorship, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it? Which side is going to win that race?
right. Which flavor of dictatorship do you prefer?
Right. And
Yeah.
it's these kind of things that set the stage for that.
And you're not
And
allowed to be like, I don't want any dictator. Like that's not allowed
no,
to
that's not
be
a
in the
no, 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 no. You
discussion.
don't have a
It's
choice
just
in
which
it.
one do you want? Right.
You
So do
know,
you want, left dictatorship or do you want right dictatorship? But you're getting dictatorship no matter what.
I mean, once upon a time, there was a point in time where we were a country of the people, by the people, for the people, kind of thing. You know, once upon a
Mm,
time,
I
that's
don't
how
believe that's true
back in
really
the very
either.
early start days,
Not
that's
even
what it was
then.
supposed to be,
It's supposed to
right?
be not even really then. I always bring it up, but it's the best example, the Whiskey Rebellion.
Yeah, but how long
You
did
know,
that happen after we had claimed independence?
uh, fucking maybe a few months. It was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much immediately.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, and it was the first time that Washington put the boot down on the neck of the American people,
Well,
and since then,
well, now,
it's gone downhill.
now let me ask you this though. To ju- to look at that time,
Hmm.
how much did that action impact the broader population? Like, how many people at that time had no clue that was even happening?
I mean, newspapers traveled pretty quickly, so I'd say like within a week, probably maybe a little bit more. Most people would have known that something was going on. Um, I mean, yeah, it's hard to kind of ignore 15,000 troops marching around the countryside, holding farmers up for their tax money
Well, I mean, were they supposed to pay taxes?
on the whiskey. Yeah, There was a whiskey tax, and they were like, "Well, ain't never heard of no federal government. I just got done fighting a war to stop being taxed. Like, the average person, they didn't have those lofty ideals of, you know, uh, um, like freedom in that way. Like their version of freedom was, I'm just going to be left alone to do whatever I want, and there's not
Right.
going to be anyone telling me what to do. They
Now,
didn't have like the principles of country building or nation building. They didn't have it was just
sure.
I fought so that I would be on my farm, get to keep the stuff that I produce, which I
Right, but
mean is ultimate freedom.
was there any notion put out there that there wouldn't be taxes, because there was constantly the talk about taxation
Right,
with
not
representation, right? They didn't
right.
want.
And that's what I'm saying is that the average farmer didn't have that necessarily in their mind that, okay, yeah, well, I'm just replacing this government with another one that's more local. They were saying, I'm not gonna have to pay taxes anymore. That's why I joined
Well,
this
see
fight to
that.
fight.
Yeah, see, and so that's why I'm like,
It
okay,
was generally a
there were people
misunderstanding.
that didn't have an idea that these kind of things were going on. Like they're sitting out
Right.
there, so something
Right.
wasn't
They
being
did.
communicated properly.
Right. They weren't watching C-SPAN, to
No,
watch the debates going
right,
on to figure out how the
right.
country was going to be run, right? They just they got done fighting and went back to their farm, hopefully with all their limbs, and started to eke out a living again. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes by and says, "Yeah, you owe me money because you exist."
Well, then
And it's like, "Well, fuck off!" like,
I have to say the
you know.
onus was on them for fighting a war that they didn't fully understand.
Um, I don't know, dude. I don't know because there was a lot of misinformation coming from the rebel side, from our
Right.
side. You know,
Well, yeah,
no one
yeah.
was entirely innocent there. I
It's
mean,
kind of. I was
it's
trying to draw a minor parallel to the present day situation where a bunch of people are fighting a war they have no idea what the fuck they want out of it.
right. Yeah,
Because
but
this
those
is
people knew what they wanted. They just didn't get
right. Well,
it.
they had their own ideas of what the war was supposed to.
Right. What it was
It's
supposed to be
like,
about.
wait, what are we doing again? What am I fighting for? know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Let's finish up the chat and get out of here. Though we're
I
over
don't want to
time.
go.
We're over time.
Element says this is an excellent. What was an excellent? I made an excellent point. Damn it.
Ah, and you don't even know what it is. Yeah.
Says soft dictatorship is the best way that we can run a criminal enterprise under their noses. Seawall says if dictatorship is the only outcome, USA would go right wing trade trade
Tradcon,
tradcon
traditional conservative.
traditional conservative.
Uh, I don't think that we would go that way. I think it'd be preferable to
you know the
some sort of lefty dictatorship.
you know
'Cause
the
at least you get food in Tradcon society.
you know
At
what
least you get food.
the sad part is most people would just be like, okay, government. There's a government in place now. Am I
Yeah, great.
do I still have my job? Do I still
Right.
pay my bills? Do I still come home after work and have a beer and
Right.
okay,
Right. Do I?
go on,
Oh, I
government, go on,
I don't
government.
I don't have a state assigned job. That I have to go to every day.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like so many people would not even be affected by it in their mind. Would I don't know. I mean, we're already living in a dictatorship in a way, so
Kind of a soft dictatorship, like Saint was
yeah,
talking
like a
about.
soft one. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? You know, we've been living under tyranny for a long fucking time, and
It's only
telling
gotten
ourselves we're
worse.
ready to fight against tyranny should it ever rise.
I know. Well, that's the point of doing it slow, right? A little
Is
slow
that it?
burn there.
Are we playing the long con right
It's just a
now?
little bit
That's
at a
been going on for
time until, yeah.
275 years. What? How many? What?
Well, on and off, yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a long con still needs to have an end game.
Yep.
All right, John. Tell these lovely folks who've been so helpful in participating in our
Yes, of
discussion tonight
course.
where they can find more of our joyous talk.
Yes, of course. If you scroll down a little bit down to the description, right in this direction that I'm pointing to, you'll find all of our links to our stuff. Our stuff includes our Twitter, which is at the GenGapP. It includes our Discord server, which is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. Lots of cool people in there. Um, yeah, good times. That's also where you're gonna find announcements and stuff that we have before before you hear about them on the show. Then we've got freedomscoop.com, of which we are a member with other such creators like what is it? Jay Edgar's one of them, right? Stephen Ignoramus, uh, RRC, Wyatt from Roundtable Decision, who was in the chat earlier. Um, who else do we have? Freckles and Brit. I think that's it. I think I got everybody. I hope I'm not missing somebody. Oh no, I would feel bad. But
No.
yeah, there's a lot of good creators over there, so make sure you go and check that out. It's like a little one-stop shop for liberty-minded, podcasters and such. I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And then while you're there, also something else I recommend: buying one of our shirts and/or mugs. We've got some merch over there, so make sure you go and check that out. And if you put in the code GenGap at checkout, you'll get 15% off your purchase. So it's even better.
Uh, one thing, Elephant said the ancient Chinese phrase "Heaven is high and the emperor is far away." It means you follow only the laws you must.
Yeah.
We have that we do have a present day saying for that. We don't have to borrow from the Chinese anymore. Uh, if the cat's away, the mice will play.
Yeah.
So fuck importing phrases from China.
How dare we import wisdom? American made wisdom only.
Right? Has that wisdom been approved corona free?
Has it been approved by the CCP?
The CCP, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Thanks for stopping by, John, and having a chit chat with me. All you guys
Uh-huh.
out there, Elephant, Saint, Seawall, Henry, Wyatt, Spartacus, and some of those other people that I can't probably remember because I'm too old for it. Thanks for
Very old.
stopping by and talking with us this evening, having a little bit of bullshit conversation. Just us talking in circles with a bunch of squares. That's the way I like it sometimes. That's the way it should be. Uh,
Yeah.
do yourselves a favor and check us out again on Friday. We'll be back at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the only true time zone
That's right.
in the world. And then, of course, we'll be back in again next week for, excuse me, we'll be back
An odd
again
name for a show. How do you spell that?
next Monday for another rousing episode of Shooting the Shit at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Hey, give us some feedback if you want on that movie night chit chat that we were
Yes.
having. Hit us up in Discord and give us some ideas or some input on that if you have any. Outside of that, we're going to get the hell out of here. Please take care of each other, take care of yourselves, stay safe, watch your back, and watch your brother's back. That's all we can do in times like this. Just kind of chill and Netflix. I guess there's always that, right? But till then, we'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Peace out.
Yep. See you guys.
The war will begin.